On this week's God and Satan podcast, you can expect to hear this.
You alright, by the way? Because you look more pale than normal.
Do I?
Yeah, you look like a snowman waiting for a blood transfusion.
And this.
Yeah, I bet you sweat milk, and I bet you fart chalk.
And this.
You could never be an ice cream man because your customers would lick your hand.
You'll also hear things like this.
Florence fucking Nightingale, or as I prefer to refer to her, Florence Night in with anyone I fucking take a fancy to in Gale.
You may even hear this.
She ended up smoking cigars with Che Guevara, for fuck's sake.
And you'll definitely hear this.
Well, ask your fucking dad to make one then. Let your mum put some fucking shelves up and hang some bloody fucking doors, and your dad can run up a new fucking garment. And where's your fucking undies?
And if you wait long enough, you'll hear this. Have you got someone in mind?
I've got someone.
What is it then? Hitler? Myra Hindley?
No, Rupert Murdoch.
Rupert Murdoch? He's not dead.
He's nearly dead.
Nearly dead isn't good enough, is it? He can't join the spiritual board if he's not dead, can he? That seems like a fairly fundamental requirement. All this and more coming up on this episode of the God and Satan podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi, please be upstanding and wail like Bob Marley's dog for the God and Satan podcast. Thank you everyone. Too kind as usual. Thank you. You're not joining in with the thank yous? Yeah. Sorry, I was...
I like the theme tune, by the way. Full of humility.
Yeah.
Love the Ken Dodd reference.
Well, I was a bit limited on words that rhyme with God.
Dog?
Dog doesn't rhyme with God.
It does.
It doesn't.
Of course it does. Idiot.
It doesn't. Does devil rhyme with evil?
Yes, it does.
It fucking doesn't. You must have a build-up of wax in your bloody horns.
Well, whatever. You alright, by the way? Because you look more pale than normal.
Do I?
Yeah, you look like a snowman waiting for a blood transfusion.
Right, here we go. Right.
Yeah, I bet you sweat milk, and I bet you fart chalk.
Okay, alright, you've had your joke.
You could never be an ice cream man because your customers would lick your hand.
Alright, okay, alright, enough. For your information, I am feeling a bit tender after last night's supper club.
Oh, right, of course. Last Friday of the month. The gathering of God's sycophantic fan club. Oh, we did it, did you? Overdid it again.
It was a late one, but everyone was very well behaved and had a lovely time, and there are no sycophants. They're just
Really?
decent, like-minded people.
Of course. Yeah. You and your buddies, you and your buddies putting the worlds to rights again, I assume.
Don't start, please.
Did the Prince Andrew dartboard come out?
No,
Quick game of snog, marry and avoid.
we don't play that anymore.
Gandhi karaoke.
You're just jealous because you don't come anymore.
You don't invite me anymore.
And we all know why I don't invite you anymore. We all remember what happened the last time you joined us.
Fuck
Yeah,
off.
yeah. You don't like it, do you?
I suppose she was there.
Who's she?
Who's she? You fucking know who I mean.
Florence.
Yes, Florence. Florence fucking Nightingale, or as I prefer to refer to her, Florence Night in with anyone I fucking take a fancy to.
Here we go.
Or not even fancy. Just a night in with anyone, basically.
You do know you brought this all on yourself.
Speaking the truth, mate. That's what brought this on.
Speaking the truth.
It was George Orwell that said, in a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act.
Yeah, and Shania Twain said, that don't impress me much.
What? What's that supposed to fucking
You
mean?
know.
I don't know. What are you saying?
You fancied her. And she didn't fancy you.
Bollocks.
You did.
I didn't.
As soon as I introduced you, oh, Florence, tell me some of your war stories.
Fuck off.
Oh, Florence, can I rub your lamp?
Absolute
Oh,
bollocks.
Florence, do you fancy getting some air outside?
She looked like she needed some air. I was being kind.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Satan, if I've given you the wrong impression.
Twat.
I'm not that sort of girl.
She ended up smoking cigars with Che Guevara, for fuck's sake.
Just so jealous. She was too much of an intellectual challenge for you, anyway.
Florence Nightingale. Too intellectual for me. She's so dense, light bends around her.
Well, she holds her own with Bertrand Russell.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense, because he, well, for a start, he's bloody Welsh, right? So I can imagine the conversations they have. Must be like a 19th century version of Made in Chelsea.
Anyway, you were very offensive, right? Hence, no more monthly supper club for you.
I wasn't offensive.
You called her a Play-Doh dildo.
I said she was about as much use as a Play-Doh dildo, right? Which is very different.
Very.
All this fuss about her being a bloody war heroine. She spent her entire time in the Crimean War in a tent, miles from the front line, moaning about the working conditions.
Jesus.
Try being where the bloody action is. In the Bosporus, love. Fighting off Putin's incest-ridden great-great-great-great-granddad. No time for charades or pass the slipper out there, I can tell you.
Well, look, shall we get on? Shall we get on?
If you could stop going on about the lamp lady, yeah.
Right. Okay, well, on this week's podcast, we'll be giving you a world first. For those of you who tuned in to our first episode all those weeks ago, which covered the topic of the afterlife, you may remember that we mentioned the spiritual board, and they're the people that make the ultimate decision on where spirits reside for all eternity. The spiritual board is made up of myself, Satan, HG, the Holy Ghost, and my eldest son.
Only son.
Jesus Christ.
When it can be bothered to turn up.
We decided that we'd record last Tuesday's spiritual board meeting and share it with all of you today. Now, the names of the individual spirits being discussed have been disguised to protect their identity and avoid expensive lawsuits.
Oh, here he is.
Sorry.
No worries.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
No worries.
I was giving some spiritual guidance to a couple of young female Swiss hikers who've just arrived.
Oh, I bet you were.
Oh, don't start, please. We're already late. HG, could you? I know you're on the phone today because you can't be with us because you've got
Furniture. People.
someone from the furniture company coming.
Myself,
but
sir.
can you take minutes today, please?
Oh, I took the minutes last time.
Oh, we're not going to argue about who takes the minutes again, are we?
I just don't think it's very fair. I've taken them twice in a row.
I don't mind taking them.
Well, can we minute that if he takes them, I predict we see the minutes of this meeting in about 2 months' time then, please.
What's your problem with me?
People, please. Every bloody time this happens. Okay. Son, will you please take the minutes and make sure they're issued by end of play tomorrow?
No, I can't do that. I've got my sleight of hand course with Paul Daniels.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I'll take the bloody minutes. Let's just crack on. Let's get on with it.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Lucifer. Appreciate that. HG, what actions were open from last meeting?
Let me check. Just a couple. Number one, arrange some different pastries for next meeting. That was for you, God.
And there you go. Here we are. We've got some apricot danishes and we've got some white chocolate cookies.
Apricot?
What's wrong with that?
Not in a pastry, for fuck's sake. That's like putting lime in a donut.
Yeah, and I don't like white chocolate.
Yes, it's too sweet.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Next time you lot bring the bloody cakes then. And not garlic muffins again, HG. They were bloody disgusting.
They were fucking horrible.
No, I thought they were alright.
Okay. Last action was for Jesus. Change your clothes for the next meeting.
Yes.
You haven't done it, have you?
No, I know.
You haven't done it.
I know.
You've been wearing that thing for forever, I think.
Yes, it has been forever.
Yeah, I've got to admit, it is a bit whiffy. It really is.
But I feel like me in it.
Haven't you got a spare one, for Christ's sake?
No, I haven't. I haven't got a spare.
Oh, why don't you get a spare one then?
Just ask Mum to make you one.
Well, that's a bit sexist, isn't it,
Well,
Dad?
ask your fucking dad to make one then. Let your mum put some fucking shelves up and hang some bloody fucking doors, and your dad can wrap a new fucking garment. And wash your fucking undies.
All right. I'll wear something different next time.
All right. So let's carry that action forward, please, HG.
Okay.
So was that everything from the previous meeting?
Yes,
Good.
yep.
Good. So now took a while. So what have we got for today's review?
So we got 2 cases to decide on. First one is...
Oh, that bloody shit.
Sorry. Can we please refrain from prejudged remarks like that? You know, I'd like to remind everyone that this is supposed to be an impartial forum.
All right, bloody hell.
I'm just saying.
Jeez.
So the case of this man has raised some contradictions, and his assessor has decided to hand this for us to make the final decision. So can we all read the final summary, and then we will vote as usual. And as this meeting is being recorded for the podcast, please refrain from revealing this man's identity. Okay?
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Yep, okay. Will do.
You just pass me one of those
Yeah.
apricot pastries.
Okay. Getting better, now you're a part of it. Now you got it.
And you
You know, I take it back, you know. The apricot goes bloody well in a Danish
Yes, I told you, didn't I? Huh? Try and be a bit more open-minded.
It says here, he likes nothing more than to see a young person smiling. Right, now, in the context of why we're reviewing that, is that a good or a bad thing, you think?
That is what you have to decide. You are reviewing, and that is what you have to decide.
Well, I'm already torn, to be honest. I mean, it says here he was a good Catholic boy from Leeds. Well, there must be a contradiction in there somewhere, surely.
Yeah, and it says he was a big friend of Thatcher's.
Maybe they meant roofers in general.
Margaret Thatcher, you stupid boy.
I knew that. It was a joke.
Can we please take this seriously? Yeah? We've got a big decision to make.
Well, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready too.
Jesus, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Right, okay. So, please raise your right hand if you believe should go to heaven.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
No surprise.
No, not
No
really.
surprise.
Yeah.
Very good. Right, okay. Well, Satan, he's all yours.
Okay, so the second case is quite similar to the first one actually. So again, please, I must reiterate, please refrain from using this person's name if possible. The podcast is being recorded, so please be sensitive to this. Okay?
Understood? Yeah.
Fucking hell, I used to love this guy.
I
used to
know.
love it.
I know. Oh, what did he used to sing?
Oh, what was it? Oh, it's Tiny King,
Guys, please. Christ.
That's sensitive.
Right, I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready to.
Yeah, and me, I'm ready.
Christ. Well, okay. All right. Okay. If you... That was quick, wasn't it?
Straightforward.
Well, if you could raise your right hand, all those in favour of this spirit residing in heaven.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Well, I'll be having him round for some big brush painting up there then. So excellent. So I think that's it then, isn't it, HG?
Yeah, that's all the cases for review. Any other business, anyone, before we can close the meeting?
Yeah. Just one thing.
Oh God, I've got the furniture man coming.
I think we should add another person to the board. This board.
What do you mean?
I think the board needs another voice, and I think it needs another voice from hell. There's an imbalance here, and I think it's detrimental to the process.
It's a good idea.
Honestly.
Hang on. What are you suggesting? What are you suggesting?
I just think there's.
Sounds like
I think there's an
you're-
imbalance. I'm not suggesting anything. I just think there's an imbalance.
Yeah. You said that. You used the word imbalance several times. I know that. But what do you mean? Are you suggesting that we, in some way, manipulate the outcomes in some way to suit
I
ourselves?
just think it's healthy to have a true balance.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, Dad.
Yeah, moi aussi. I do too. I think it's good.
Right. Okay. All right. We all seem to think it's a good idea. So I would assume you've already thought it through a bit. So have you got someone in mind?
I've got someone.
What is it then? Hitler? Myra Hindley?
No, Rupert Murdoch.
Rupert Murdoch. He's not dead.
He's nearly dead.
Nearly dead isn't good enough, is it? He can't join the spiritual board if he's not dead, can he? That seems like a fairly fundamental requirement.
Yeah, I know he's not dead. I know he's not dead, but I think he'll be an excellent addition once he does die.
And you're assuming he'll balance the group out.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Okay, it seems that everyone thinks it's a good idea. So
Indeed.
well, let's check it. So
Very
those
good.
in favour of adding Rupert Murdoch to the spiritual board when he pops his clogs, raise your right hand. Right, unanimous.
Wonderful.
Excellent. And okay, so unless there's anything else, I
Nothing
think
else.
we can close this meeting.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Very good.
See
Excellent.
you
Take care.
in a couple of weeks.
See you in a couple of
See you
weeks,
in a
everyone.
couple
So don't forget Jesus. Change that fucking shirt.
Well, I hope that was insightful for all of you out there, and more importantly, I really hope it takes away some of the worry that you may have about judgment in the afterlife.
There's nothing to worry about if your conscience is clear, is there?
Yeah, but hopefully, the transparency we're giving does provide some comfort.
Well, it won't provide comfort if you've been a shit all your life. will it?
All right. You made your point. So, as we still have some time, I thought it'd be good for us to debate the big news story of the week.
What, the UK election?
No.
Situation in Gaza?
Nope.
The Ukraine war?
Nope.
Eamon Holmes' remarkable and inexplicable infidelity?
No. The Euros.
You fucking love football, don't you?
Doesn't everybody?
No.
Well, let's talk about it anyway. I just love these international tournaments. Obviously, taking it personally, having created the world, I do take it as a personal triumph when so many different cultures and styles all kind of come together. I think it's wonderful.
Well, as we're talking about different cultures, would it be okay if I tell one of my favourite jokes? Just as a bit of light.
It'll be offensive,
Right.
won't it? And likely a racist joke.
An Englishman, Irishman, Scotsman and a Welshman
Yeah, I thought so.
were captured by the Iraqis. Well, when I say Iraqis, it could have been any one of the Middle East, to be fair, including Israel. But they were captured anyway, so for being too west. So the general of the generic Middle Eastern nation that captured them says, and I can't do an accent. I can't, whatever accent it was, I can't do it. So he says, we're going to remove your heads with a blunt sword, and we're going to piss down your necks. So, but before we do, we're going to give you all one last request. So he asked the Welshman first, and the Welshman says, again, I can't, in fact won't do the accent for the Welshman, but the Welshman does say, I'd like to hear 1,000 Welsh miners singing The Land of My Fathers. So the general then asks the Scotsman, and he asks to hear 1,000 bagpipes playing The Flower of Scotland. He then asks the Irishman, and he asks to see 1,000 Irish dancers dancing the river dance. And lastly, the general, with his face flat up to the Englishman's face, he asks him, what is your last request, English dog? Fucking shoot me first, said the Englishman.
Yeah, I'd just like to apologise to anyone who was offended and likely were offended by that joke.
Oh, offended for fuck's sake. It's just a bit of fun.
So, have you watched any games? Any games of the Euros? Have you watched any?
Yeah, I missed the first game, but when I saw that Germany had beaten Scotland 5-1, I watched it on catch-up 5 times. Not highlights, the entire game.
Did you watch England?
I did watch England, and I'm thinking of creating a new room down here in hell where the Denmark game is on a loop, and we'll put all the troublemakers in there for a month at a time.
See, I think England will get better as the tournament progresses. I really do.
Yeah, do. Well, if they get any worse, obviously they'll have to change their name to Wales.
All right. So who have you liked so far then?
Laura Woods, Alex Scott.
Teams. What teams have you liked so far?
Quite liked Slovakia.
Do you mean Slovakia or Slovenia?
Doesn't matter, they're all fucking slow. Also, I was watching the Ukraine game yesterday, and would you believe it, they've got a player called Matt Bianco, and apparently he is named after the 80s band, who had a big hit with Get Out of Your Lazy Bed, which is probably Marcus Rashford's favourite song.
You're not going to take this seriously, are
You, you know, the other thing I absolutely hate about the Euros, right, are the pundits.
All right.
Almost all of them. Almost all of them.
Well,
Roy Keane, right, for a start. Great player.
Brilliant
wonderful player. But God almighty, why would any television company, right, ask him to comment on a game? I bet the Samaritan's call volumes go up when he's covering it. That's unbelievable. And he's everywhere. Everywhere. Ironically, the only place you don't see him is in a pantomime, which ironically is where you should bloody see him. Gary Neville. What a twat. What, by the way, we're on the subject of Gary Neville, what is that slot in the middle of Gary Neville's forehead? The Sky paying in pound coins. I Just can't bloody stand it. Mika, Micah, Machu Picchu, Richards. Too many smarties, for Christ's sake. Every day's Christmas Eve for him. Calm the fuck down, Machu Picchu. Alan Shearer, for fuck's sake. He's just a bald version of Mark Lawrenson. And Wayne Rooney. What the fuck has happened to Wayne Rooney? Does he eat children or something? I think he was Henry VIII in a previous life.
You know, trying to discuss anything seriously with you, right, it's impossible.
Thank you. I do try my best.
So finally on this week's episode of the God and Satan podcast, by popular request I should add, we're going to review the major news stories of the week in Those Were the News Items That Were.
Who requested it, by the way?
Doesn't matter.
Was it Des Lesman?
Doesn't matter. So, starting with the news that Sir Ian McKellen is in good spirits after falling off stage during a performance of Player Kings at the Noel Coward Theatre in London. The actor, 85, cried out in pain, calling for help, and a staff member rushed to assist him. Sir Ian had been performing in a fight scene when he seemed to lose his footing. He was taken to hospital and the play was cancelled. A theatre spokesman later said Sir Ian had undergone a scan and medics said he would make a speedy and full recovery. Ian is in good spirits, the spokesperson said.
Probably whiskey and rum, I should imagine. I mean, what sort of fight scene was it? He's 85. What was he fighting? A cold? I mean, this has been, to be fair, a very challenging time for Sir Ian. I mean, I don't know whether you know this, but his driving school recently went into liquidation. He did admit that having the slogan, "None shall pass," was a terrible error of judgment, but it's still very sad to see.
Indeed. Parisians have threatened to poo in the River Seine today in a protest ahead of the Olympics. People angry at the expense of cleaning up the river have rallied under the hashtag Je jette dans la Seine le 23 juin, which translates as I shit in the Seine on the 23rd of June. Today was supposed to be the date Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo would swim in the Seine to prove the water was clean enough for Olympic athletes, but she delayed the dip until after the French elections in July. President Emmanuel Macron has also promised to swim in the Seine before the Games, but has not yet said when.
Of course he hasn't. But I think a better protest would have been to shit in the Olympic swimming pool itself, or even at the water polo venue. Imagine that. There'd be an outbreak of verrucas. I've got some other suggestions for protests that the people of Paris might appreciate. They could potentially wank all over the balance beam with the gymnastics, maybe, or eat a ton of asparagus and then piss in the squash courts. Or they could just simply wear a high-vis jacket and light a bonfire. Up to you.
And finally, Eamon Holmes' blonde divorcee friend tells pals she's in it for the long haul. Relationship counsellor Katie Alexander, 42, has been on a number of outings with GB News presenter Eamon Holmes in the last 12 months, and she's told friends she doesn't want to be seen as a marriage wrecker. The supportive woman comforting Eamon Holmes after his marriage split has told friends she's in it for the long haul.
I suppose I assume she means she doesn't mind listening to his right-wing bullshit, living in a house that has a Manchester United carpet, lifting him in and out of the bath, and having to wake up looking at his stupid face for the rest of her life. Ruth Langsford is reportedly devastated by the breakup, but of course we all know she isn't really. Congratulations, Ruth.
So that's it for another episode of the podcast that just keeps on giving. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have, please do subscribe and tell your family and friends all about us. Once again, I apologise for any offence that may have been taken at any point in this podcast. Some things are just simply out of my control. But do join us next time when we'll be answering your prayers. Yes, literally answering your prayers. But until then, look after yourselves, and we hope to see you next time. Goodbye. Are you saying goodbye?
No.
Oh, fuck you then.